He said, because Prophet Muhammad fought 2 wars, then that's why he's a bad person. Yes, he fought 2 wars. He fights. Yes, and we believe in it. But it's just like someone having a stick in his eyes and blaming someone else for having a dirt in their eyes. Do you know what your Bible says about war? Like, are you telling me that there is no justification that can necessitate fighting of wars? It makes no sense. You mean that anytime that anyone fights a war, then the person fighting has become a terrorist? The person fighting has become a tyranny, even no matter what justification the person has to fight the wars. For the first 13 years of the prophet's mission, it was in Mecca. They never raised anything up, not even a cane, because they did not have the power to do it. They did not have the political power, they did not have the military power, they did not have the financial power to do it. Even though they were persecuted, they were killed. Why don't you do your findings? Why don't you do your readings? They were killed in Mecca. A lot of companions like Sumayya, like Ja'far, and some of his other family members, they were killed. They were torn apart because they believe in one God. They deserted the worship of idols. Then their people persecuted them. The prophet did not tell them to fight for 13 years. For 13 good years, they were being persecuted and they did nothing. They were just patient, preaching the oneness of God. They were patient, calling people to the path of salvation, calling people to the God of Abraham, to the God of Isaac, to the God of Ishmael, to the God of David, to the God, the only one true God who exists yesterday, today, and forever. But they were persecuted because of this. Then they left Mecca, they migrated to Medina. They were in Medina, then these same disbelievers who were persecuting them in Mecca, they had to come to Medina to meet them there again, to continue their persecution. So you expected them to sit down and watch and not defend themselves. You expected them to okay, because we are men of God, because I'm a prophet, because these are my companions, my disciples, then I will tell them to hold, and not defend themselves. The difference that you guys don't know is that there's a difference between political leader and spiritual leader. There are some of the prophets of God in your Bible that are purely spiritual leaders only. They hold no political power. And Jesus Christ is a very perfect example of them. He's not a political leader. He wasn't the one leading Judah. He wasn't the one leading Israel. He is a citizen amongst the citizens in Israel then. So he's a spiritual leader. There's nothing that can necessitate him to fight a war. There are other spiritual leaders like that, like Elijah, like Isaiah, like Jeremiah. They are spiritual leaders. They are not the one leading the town. They are not the one leading the city. So being a spiritual leader, just like a pastor or an imam, an individual who is not our president, not our governor, not the one, in charge of ensuring security of the state. Who is he to trigger a war? Either defensive or offensive. But we have some of the prophets of God who are both spiritual leaders and political leaders. And these are the ones that fight wars. In your Bible, look at David. He is a political leader. He's the one leading Israel. So you're expecting that whenever they want to come and attack Israel, then he should sit down because he's a prophet. Then he should not employ his political power to ensure security of the state. I don't know if what I'm saying is clear to these guys, because sometimes when I see the way you think, I be like, it's a shame that I was previously a Christian. Because if this is how Christians think, I'm not sorry to say this, but even if you don't accept, the teachings of Islam, that does not make you to stoop so low to be lying or not to do your proper analysis, think straight before coming out to talk. Why don't you tell us that when Prophet Muhammad was in Mecca, he never fought a war? Why don't you tell us? And why don't you tell us that when he got to Medina, the people in Mecca, they were the one that came over there to meet them, to fight them. Then they had to defend themselves. You only told us that he fought war. Why don't you tell us the reason and the justification for the wars that he fought? If you are not an hypocrite, you want us to see him as a bad person. You hold the Quran in one hand, you hold the sword in one hand. Show us the evidence. Show us your point of reference. Where do you get that from? Tell us, show us. And if you cannot show us, then verily you are an evil person, because you have bear false witness. And according to your Bible, it says, thou shalt not bear false witness. If you want to hate someone, hate the person based on evidence. You want to hate someone, hate the person based on what they did that is well established against them, not coming up with lies against them. Show us where it is. I know you'll be saying, it is there, I've heard you, show me.